Hey there, Saggy Coco Pop. How you guys doing, my Sagittarians? Welcome to your What Do I Need to Love read for this full moon to new moon next June 2020. Your full moon, by the way, full moon in Sagittarius, which is on June 5th, Friday, June 5th. We're going to be looking at the time period between that and the new moon in Cancer, which is June 21st, a Sunday, Father's Day, oddly enough, because we will be having Letha the day before summer solstice, so we will be going literally through the dark of the moon during the peak of the sun. So there's something there. I don't know what that is, but we've got plenty of readings to do between now and then to get a look at that. Maybe I'll do something specific about that. I'll see what the guides want to do. Cool. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I am putting out content pretty much every day, unless it's just one of those empathic burnout days where I'm feeling everybody's everything and crying in my prayers all morning long. It's happened. I still manage to get work done, Virgo that I am, but you know, you're feeling me. You know what I'm talking about, Massages. Such an intense time on planet Earth. So let me get you some guidance and some grace. This time around, the guides are doing this totally differently. It's still a 6-card draw, but they said this time it's going to be spiritual counseling in a 6-card draw. They have been really intense. They're the same decks I always use, but the cards that are coming up and the combinations they're coming up on, they're really challenging, which would make sense for the time we're in. So it's all about, what do you need to love? What does each sign need to love in their lives, or what do they need to embrace in order to experience the love? It's all different ways of going in on that phrase. What does it need to love? Like, what do you need to be more loving, or what do you need to love within yourself, etc.? You get it. Yeah. It's a really interesting way of doing it. Never would have thought of putting those words together. Guides. So how about this? You stay in the present moment. Follow the breath, right? Be here now as best as you can. This is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So you can check your other signs, get pieces of the puzzle. I will do the same on my end to get you the clarity, the guidance, and the grace. I was born to do this. Believe me, I had other career opportunities. This is what I meant to do. So you get me, Sagittarian. Let's do this, shall we? Focus on the breath. I will call out the decks as I go. They are all in the description box at the bottom, starting with the Caroline Myss Archetype deck. Shall we? Breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. For this Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, their full moon in Sagittarius has got to be powerful to this new moon in Cancer coming up Father's Day, day after summer solstice. What is the dominant soul archetype that they need to love, that they need to embrace, that they need to alchemize from lead to gold, which is perfect for a waning phase of the moon, right? From full moon to new moon next. So please, my pantheons, just one card for the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and you guys got the Rebel. That's like so very Sagittarian, the Rebel archetype. Hand, glove, fit. Yes, the Aquarians as well, but you get an Aquarian and a Sagittarian together. That's fixed air with a lot of mutable fire. It's a constant stream of air for something that is just going in 10 billion directions. Very powerful. There he is. I think he's adorable. I think it's a he. I'm not going to gender my cards, but look at it, hanging out in a tree, all hippie and whatnot. Look at that hair. Work it. The shadow attribute. Rejects legitimate authority. Sorry, I need my glasses for this one, and the lighting's not that great here. It's also in light green ink on beige. It's like, it's a little hard to read. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Legitimate authority we're talking about here. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Sort of like new wave in relationship to punk. I'm Generation X. The light attribute challenges authority to affect social change. I think that's going on right now. Just saying, an archetype in the world itself. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Now, you know I could go off for an hour on this alone, but I am not going to. Why? Because this is a what do you need read, but I'm going to say that the Rebel archetype is part of the sacred contract of the United States. And if you don't believe me, ask Carolyn Mace, who made the deck. She's the one who said it, and I wholeheartedly agree. You look at what we went through to found this country. That's all I'm going to say about it politically. Why? Because I'm trying to be here for everybody. But I'm also a long purple-haired gay witch from Long Island, so you can probably guess my political affiliation somewhat how I lean. He said with the bangles. I call the middle one Susanna Hoffs. That's what happens when you're raised by a nursery school teacher. Sometimes they name things. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the angels about this rebel archetype, shall we? Nice deep breath. With the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. My angels, my archangels, please, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is the healing angel that they need to love, that they need the love of for this full moon in their sign, Sagittarius, to new moon in Cancer, June 2020? Please, what is the perfect angel that's offering their wing, their hand in healing to the Sagittarians this full moon to new moon next? Divine guidance, quite literally, like extending the hand and saying, here, we will guide you through this. Now look, I have to be careful with my words. This is YouTube. The guidance is there, but you gotta look up. The star isn't down there. You gotta look up. That's our part of it. Whatever it takes to tune yourself to spirit, do it. In terms of being a spiritual rebel, are you kidding me? I'm a spiritual rebel. I will take wisdom, truth, wherever I can find it. I don't care. I make it my own. Sooner or later, it all works its way through. I am a Virgo. But in terms of a Sagittarian, to hunt down truth that feels legitimate to you, well, particularly in that first part, challenges authority to affect social change. If you're doing that or in the midst of that this angel of divine guidance is saying, let us guide you through this. But you have to bring in not just prayer, meditation, all that stuff, however that flows in your life is your personal connection to the divine. But also to keep in mind your highest conduct. Like, what is it? Are we all one? Right? Like, are we all one? We're all one. We're all one, except that's where the spiritual lesson usually lies. Just gonna say, we'll leave that there. Those cards cool down a little bit. Let's ask the goddess what she feels about all this, the divine yin, shall we? It is full moon to new moon next. You might as well ask a feminist deck. Get that point of view. Please, my goddesses, the divine yin collective. One card in clarity for the Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for their full moon in Sag to the new moon in Cancer, which ain't no joke with that particular pairing with Father's Day and summer solstice and all of that in that little power cluster there. So please, my goddesses, a piece of the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Please, just a piece of clarity for the Sagittarian collective this full moon to new moon next. And there you got it, meditation. Seven of Blades. Sit back, watch. Sit back, watch. Not participate, but that there's a thing here about make sure. It's like I said, whatever your receiving of guidance is, whatever your process is, prayer, meditation, tai chi, yoga, journaling, exotic feather dancing, whatever it is, to allow the divine to work through you. And as a rebel, that means really you can work outside the lines quite a bit that way. Spiritually. But if you really are involved in the current political thing going on planet Earth, again, watch me hopscotch around it, then just know that the guidance is there, but you have to still yourself. You have to be able to, as a Sagittarian, I know, next to impossible. Really, that's what this Seven of Blades is about. It's about, like ice fishing. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of being patient, but for that right moment, when the guidance comes, and then the guidance is yours. Ask the Ascended Masters. Here we go. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. Half the deck is the Womp Womp. The Womp Womp suit. The suit of problems. Good to know what the problem is, though. The other three suits that make up the other half. Luck, healing, and grace. Let's see what you get, because with that meditation, this might give you something to meditate upon, right? Hold in your mind. Breathe. They're saying, like, holding the arrow back on the bow. They give me that image every single time, pretty much, with Sagittarian reads. My Ascended Masters. I feel the high vibe of this, even though we've got such a slow card there of the Seven of Blades with meditation. So please, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this full moon in Sagittarius to new moon in Cancer, June 2020. Please, a piece of the problem, a piece of luck, a piece of healing, or a piece of grace. Please clarify for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs this full moon to new moon next June 2020. And we've got rules. Sort of like the worst problem card that could come up with the rebel archetype. They don't like them. They don't like them. But do keep in mind here that, like, really to look at the light side of this archetype, what you're shooting for, challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. That might be really where to tune yourself before taking action on any of this. Really have a look, meditate upon what is the role of your spirituality in all of this that you're going through. Because, like, if there was any other card here than divine guidance, okay, maybe if the guardian angel card here was there, that as well, I would say really pay attention to the signals you're getting from your higher self, but that you are being called outside of your box, and the rebel archetype is just so part and parcel. I mean, that's why it's Zeus, it's Jupiter. He was such a rebel. He still is to this day. Though he makes the rules, he breaks them like crazy. So, tricky here, but keep an eye on the rules. And please, I know the time we're in now is so challenging, and there's so much fear in the air, and so much transformation is happening so quickly. People don't see the change that's happening with every single day. In the larger picture, things are moving incredibly fast, and the change in the revolution that people want is happening. It is happening. It's just larger view. It's not instant gratification. Instant gratification isn't fast enough. My favorite line from Postcards from the Edge. So, and since we're sort of on the edge, let's send a loving postcard. Let's see if we can get you a healing mantra for this. Of course we can. From the Ascended Masters, who also give you that card of the rules to really kind of look at, particularly with the rebel, what are the legitimate authorities here? What are the legitimate rules and regulations to abide and obey, particularly in terms of your spirituality? Now is the time that we're supposed to be embodying our highest truth and wisdom, and that is really hard to do today. So breathe. My Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Sagittarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs? This full moon, their full moon in Sagittarius to new moon next in Cancer, June 2020. Please, the perfect healing mantra for them is discovering happiness. Discovering happiness? I allow myself to be content exactly as I am. That's going to anger some people. I know that because there's a way to take that. It's just saying, just be content as you are. But let me read the card, Discovering Happiness. I mean, for a rebel to say to them, just be content exactly as you are. Right? What did you say? Let's get you his words on this. Because it's a really good card. I've used this mantra a lot. For my own healing, discovering happiness, I allow myself to be content exactly as I am. I'm not straining my eyes today. When happiness is discovered, you are inspired, excited, and passionate about the gift of being alive. There is a willingness to open your heart to the mystery of each moment, whether you're getting what you want or witnessing unexpected outcomes. There's the rub. There's the tricky one. You could totally see this in terms of like the spiritual part of it, right? Like of thinking outside the box and looking at the rules and discovering happiness in a whole other way in terms of your own spirituality, in terms of meditation, to look outside of traditional spiritual systems that don't feel authentic to you. The discovery of happiness frees you from needing life to bring you more of this or less of that. The true joy of being yourself has dawned. This mantra is ideal for facing disappointment, developing self-approval, and feeling fulfilled. And it would be a rebellious act. It absolutely would feel like a rebellious act to discover a happiness for yourself that is not based on something out here, right? It really would be. It would be a total act of rebellion. It would be a spiritual rebellion. And we still have one more card left, but with that card of divine guidance, they are like saying, look, you can freak yourself out as much as you want, and that's free will. You're allowed to work with whatever narrative you like, mentally, emotionally, through all of this we're going through. But that the mantra, I allow myself to be content exactly as I am, will bring you so into the present moment where you can do exactly this, the meditation card, see some of the rules from a higher place and be like, oh, be guided past them. And really, the heart of the rebel brings the new, brings the fresh, brings the healing, right? One more card down. A lovely read, very inspirational, which is perfect for a Sagittarius with the full moon in Sag coming. So let's get you from the voices of the higher selves, a Whisper of Love Oracle, one of my favorite oracle decks. Nice deep breath, please. Here we go. The higher selves of all involved. Last card down, please. What is a whisper of true love, the whisper of true love you would like to give the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, this full moon in Sagittarius, their full moon to new moon next in Cancer for June 2020, because we've got the collective saying the rebel. We've got the angels saying divine guidance, just offering their hand, divine guidance there. With the Seven of Blades, meditation. It's going to take some focusing, some silence, some stillness, where then they can kind of maybe get some of the rules, the ones that are legitimate and the ones that aren't. And by allowing themselves to be content exactly as they am, they can discover this kind of rebellious happiness within them as is. So what would you like to add to that? The guiding whisper of love from the higher self to the Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. This full moon to new moon next, June 2020, please. Listen with your heart. Last reading got this too. That would have been, Scorpio got this one. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with your heart. Now, what I'm immediately going to do is put that with that, right? That is saying listen. That is that stillness of the element of air, stilling the mind, which, yes, there may be some rules that you have about that annoy you, particularly rules of meditation. Things have changed. There's all sorts of different ways of meditating right now, but that if you allow yourself to be content exactly as you are, it's a brilliant mantra. I allow myself to be content exactly as I am. There is a discovering of happiness there as a result of divine guidance. In other words, it's not just you pioneering out into this barren wasteland. You are being guided, but something as well that satisfies and alchemizes the rebel in you. Maybe going off the beaten path, though not a barren wasteland, perhaps off the beaten path for what is there for you, and a bit of an adventure for you. So may the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with perhaps a divinely guided rebellious adventure, one that certainly will involve some interior stillness, some stillness of thought, allowing themselves to be content exactly as they am, discovering happiness while evaluating some of the rules there, but most of all, to listen with their heart, to slow down, to not just hear the words, but to listen with the heart, and to know that the guidance that they are getting, they'll know it's divine by how it feels in the heart, because love is divine power. So divine guidance must then flow from love. May they be so blessed with that experience and that awareness for this full moon to new moon next. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching, my Saggies. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment should you feel yourself so drawn. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very best of this full moon to new moon next, June 2020. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.